evening, councillors, staff, ladies and gentlemen in the gallery. Please be seated while Councillor Kevin McDonald delivers the blessing. Thank you.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us all here safely today. I ask that you bless this city, its staff and our residents. Please give us the wisdom while we make important decisions for our city and its residents. In your name, Amen.
Thank you, Councillor McDonald. The City of Gosnells respectfully acknowledges the Whadjuk Noongar people as the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today, and we pay our respects to them and their culture and elders both past and present. It is now 6:59 and I declare the meeting open. Announcement of visitors. Welcome former Mayor Councillor Olwen Searle to the gallery. Thank you for coming. Disclaimer. Members of the public are cautioned against taking any action on council decisions on items in which they may have an interest until such time as they've seen a copy of the minutes of the meeting or have been advised in writing by the city staff. I have no announcements this evening. Reports of delegates. Are there any reports from delegates? Councillor Good, thank you.
Yes, good evening, Madam Mayor. With regards to Neighbourhood Watch, I attended a meeting on the Wednesday the 12th, which was a good meeting and lots of information discussed, particularly the fact of feedback on the CCTV cameras. The staff delegate was able to advise that we're getting good resolution, clear pictures. The police are very, very pleased about those responses. And I love the fact that the cameras, I believe, are in pretty good places and getting good visions, not just being centred across the street, but literally down the street. So that was good feedback, and obviously that's been a good project. And with a bit of luck, you never know. It could be the following year, who knows. Also, there's a street meet and greet which was done on Sunday afternoon out in the Southern River. And I know that, of course, we've got our neighbourhood events being planned as well. So overall, a good discussion from Neighbourhood Watch. One other thing they did talk about was how other local governments involved with their neighbourhood watches, and I was able to read the minutes of the Canning one and see how they do at Armidale. So it's good to always compare yourselves about if we're doing so, and can we also try and get more volunteers. So that's the brief report of Neighbourhood Watch.
Thank you, Councillor Good. Any other reports? And I will just skip back to the record of attendance. Councillor Dewhurst has a leave of absence and Councillor Williamson has an application for a leave of absence coming up. Question time. We have questions from Mrs Tracy O'Neill, 217 Kenwick Road, Kenwick. Could you come forward, please? Sorry?
Excuse me, Madam Mayor, is the sound a bit low? I can't hear you very well.
I'm actually talking a bit low too because I'm recovering from another bout of COVID. But is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Mrs O'Neill, thank you.
Okay, thank you. In a recent traffic direction study commissioned by the City of Gosnells, it was determined approximately 1,126 heavy vehicles pass my property daily. Of those, 190 are considered Class 7 and above, according to Austroads vehicle classifications. Are these classes of heavy vehicles supposed to be using residential roads?
Thank you for your question. I'll ask Director Glover to respond. Thank you.
Thank you, through Madam Mayor. RAV7 or Restricted Access Vehicles Class 7 have an ability to operate on a road network based on the classification of the road. So roads must be distributor roads, they can't be your local access roads, and then not necessarily all of them, but a significant number of them can be. In this case, it's due to that, not necessarily the zoning of that area. So there will be times when RAV vehicles are allowed to pass residential properties.
Okay, thank you.
Next question.
I'm not sure if it's relevant now, but how would the City of Gosnells work with main roads on that particular issue?
Yeah, that's been answered. Yes, thank you.
Through you, Madam Mayor. The City, since the meeting, the City has written to main roads and we're waiting a reply, and we are looking to see if we can't try to restrict the level of permitting that's going on at the moment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs O'Neill. The next question is from Mr Ken Ashwin from 40 Forest Crescent, Thornley. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Why is there time of only 3 minutes for petitioners to make submissions and not given the opportunity to finalise their submission when up to 15 minutes can be allocated to submissions from petitioners?
That's because what the local law standing orders allows us to do. Mr CEO, have you got anything further to add to that?
No, Madam Mayor, that's a standing orders requirement.
Yep.
Who determines this ridiculous time limit, short time, and why?
The standing orders have been in for quite some time. It is something that the local government councillors do endorse.
Does the Local Government Act have anything to do with that?
We are required to have a standing orders, but it's not in your list of questions, Mr Ashwin. Do you want to ask this last question?
Why a council is afforded up to 5 minutes, then accorded the courtesy of an automatic extension at the council's permission?
Yeah, it's not automatic. Obviously, we vote on that, and once again, that's what the standing orders allow.
I'm not satisfied with those responses.
Thank you. The next question is from Mr Gary Walker from, where's Mr Gary Walker from? I don't have his address in here. Lockhart Place, I believe. You've got 8 questions here, Mr Walker. You can ask 3 of them and the other ones can be taken on notice for an email response. So if you would like to ask 3 of your questions, please.
Right, I'd like to ask Councillor Dewhurst, where did he get his information from in relation to his Facebook post, and was that given in confidence?
And unfortunately, Councillor Dewhurst has got a leave of absence tonight, so he wouldn't be able to answer that question, but you are welcome to put on record your next question.
I guess all my questions were to be directed at Councillor Dewhurst, so I think we probably have to adjourn it till such time as he can be here to answer the questions.
You could come back for your questions at a different time, but there wouldn't be necessarily a council decision to adjourn the item later today.
I'm sorry, I'm really struggling to hear you.
Okay, sorry. You can come back and ask your question at a later date, but there is no guarantee that the council would decide to adjourn the item on tonight's agenda to a later date. So you can still come back at another time to ask your questions.
Yeah, I think there's a fair amount of questions I do have to ask Councillor Dewhurst, so I think we'd probably be better to postpone it to another time when we can ask him.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. No, it's about a Facebook post that Councillor Dewhurst made that was rather inappropriate. No worries, I appreciate that.
There are no more questions, so we'll move on to public statement time, and the item, Joshua Carmody, if you would like to come and make your public statement on item number 13, item 13.2.2, regarding lot 134 Westfield Street. Thank you, Mr Carmody.
Good evening, everyone. I'm acting on behalf of Maddington Village Shopping Centre Proprietary Limited, who are the proponent of the development, excuse me, the development of the Maddington Village Shopping Centre. Now, I'd like to just, for a moment, just say thanks to the city's planning staff for working with us collaboratively on this development. I think we've reached an outcome which I'm pleased to say the city is recommending that you support tonight. This proposal, which you'll be considering, will refurbish, and it will basically revitalise what, as many of you will be familiar with, is a derelict, and I think it's got one tenant left, a largely vacant shopping centre in the middle of Maddington. And you know, it's a centre which I'm personally quite familiar with. My mother has been a teacher at Maddington High School for admin staff at the high school for 20 years, and this is a centre which really needs a bit of love and a bit of investment, and this is what this proposal is going to provide. It's going to be not only a refurbishment of the existing, it's going to be and a reintroduction of a supermarket, which the community is really asking for, but it'll also be providing additional community services such as a childcare centre and a service station. And service stations have a very positive impact on shopping centres by providing much broader hours of operation. They dramatically reduce security issues because of all the extra CCTV and lighting and activity which goes on. So these are very positive, and I'm very happy to say that the city is in agreement with us and has recommended that this be approved. We are essentially supportive of the conditions which the city has proposed, but I've provided to the city, and which I believe has been distributed to the elected members, some of the conditions that we were just requesting be adjusted slightly to reflect some additional considerations which we provided for you. So I'll finish my comments there. I can answer any questions if that is something you wish to ask.
Thank you. That's fine. Thank you. Now we'll move on to Mrs Barriolo. Would you mind turning off that microphone, please? Thank you. Move on to the confirmation of the minutes. Can I get a mover for that, please? Deputy Mayor Hort, seconded by Councillor Zhang. If you could please cast your vote, councillors. Thank you, councillors. That has been carried. Moving on to receiving of petitions and presentations. Deputy Mayor Hort, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And some may be wondering why I'm holding a hockey stick, so I thought I'd better explain myself. This is a presentation to the city from the Western Australian Sikh Sports Club. I had the absolute honour of representing the Mayor there, would have been early last month, for their annual Hockey and Curry, they call it, where they invite men from all around Perth to gather and play hockey at the Southern River Hockey Club in Huntingdale at Sutherland's Park. It's sponsored by Live Lighter, the Sikh Association of WA, and our very own city of Gosnells. So this is one of, I believe, only a couple hundred hockey sticks that were made in Pakistan, which is very famous for hockey stick production. The final 3 or 4 were presented to the sponsors of the event, of which we are one. So I would love to present this to the city on behalf of the West Australian Sikh Sports Club tonight.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Would you like to hold that, Mr CEO? Who's the hockey fan? Okay, thank you. Are there any further petitions or presentations? No? Thank you. Moving on to applications of leave of absence. I have one here from Councillor Williamson seeking a leave of absence for tonight's meeting for personal reasons. Can I get a mover for that, please? Councillor Patterson, seconded by Councillor Baines. Thank you. Councillors, if you could please cast your vote. Thank you. That has been carried. There are no questions of which due notice have been given, so we'll move on to item number 12.1, the Public Art Committee. Can I get a mover for that, please? Deputy Mayor Hort, seconded by Councillor Adams. Deputy Mayor Hort, thank you.
As the council will know, I'm very excited about the Public Art Committee and the developments that have come in this particular meeting. So I just wanted to give a big call out to Katrina Hayden, who was successful in her submission for our scarves and ties. Really, really exciting, and a big thank you to Councillor Adams and Councillor Griffiths for partaking in the unenviable task of picking which one of those amazing pieces of arts that we would use in our ties and scarves. So looking forward to seeing what comes out of that. But also equally excited about our new category for this year's Community Art exhibition and awards, the Aboriginal Artist Award. I think that's a really positive step forward in recognising the amazing artists we have in the city of Gosnells that we already do for so many other categories, youth art, local artists and the like. It's really exciting to have a specific category for Aboriginal artists in our city. So excited to see what comes from that in our annual exhibition coming up soon. So obviously in support of this, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Hort. Any further questions or comment on this item? No. Thank you, councillors. If you could please cast your vote. Thank you. That has been carried. Moving on to item number 13.2.1, the development application for the Wellness Centre, use not listed, and single house 75 lot 31 Rimmer Lane, Kenwick. Can I get a mover for this, please? Councillor Griffiths to move, Councillor Betts to second. Councillor Griffiths, do you have any comment? Councillor Betts? Anyone else? No? Thank you, councillors. If you could please cast your vote. Thank you, councillors. That has been carried. Just for the applicants that are in the audience, just to let you know that council has voted in favour of that recommendation. Thank you. And you're welcome to leave. You're welcome to stay, but you can go if you like. Thank you. Moving on to item number 13.2.2, the development application for the shopping centre refurbishment, childcare premises, convenience store and motor vehicle wash at 134 lot 144 Westfield Street, Maddington. Can I get a mover? Deputy Mayor Hort, seconded by Councillor David Good. Deputy Mayor Hort, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to speak in support of this wonderful development. I think it's long overdue, and as the gentleman representing the property owner stated, it is in a state of disrepair. It needs activity, and Maddington deserves better than what it's got at the moment, and I think this is a very positive step towards making that happen. So I look forward to hearing the discussion from Council tonight about this.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Hort. Councillor Good.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, like Deputy Mayor Councillor Hort, I concur. I'm looking forward to a development happening at this centre. I was part of the JDAP from last June, which we did the other approval, and it's always good to actually see something happening with that centre, that area. We know it's been derelict for a long, long time, and I just think the opportunity to get something built, and this is another opportunity coming towards us, not only for the fact there's going to be a convenience store and the motor vehicle wash, but it's also the employment for the area. It revitalises the area. It allows people to go, oh, that's my shopping centre, that's my little local place. And that area has been screaming out for some activity. So I'll be very, very supportive. What I do find interesting, of course, is the fact that we've had the notification today from Mr Carmody, the senior planner, and his alterations. And I note in the report that the staff assessments versus the other independent reviewer, differences of opinions, and that's always healthy to get a different view. I like this or I like that, but on the JDAP, it's all about, do you meet planning guidelines and can we get this built? Not necessarily do you agree with every single colour scheme that you want, but it's overall, it should be a good boost for the area and I hope we can approve it. Thank you. Thank
you, Councillor Good. I have an amendment to propose first. Sorry. My amendment is it's on pages 14 to 29, but I, Councillor Lyons, propose the following: that the first paragraph of the condition be amended by the addition of a new sentence which reads as follows. Conceptually, the proposed public art should take the form of two murals, with one to be placed on the wall of the new convenience store facing the adjoining park and the other being added to the southern side wall of the childcare centre facing the nearby chemist, for the following reasons: to add visual interest at the edge of the development abutting the adjoining park and commercial development respectively. Can I get a seconder for that, please? Councillor Griffiths, happy to second that. And I'll just carry on speaking to it. Basically, it's for the reason to ensure that we do get some public art on that premises and that it gives that visual appeal to the park as well as to the 3 or 4 shopping units that are on the other side of the daycare centre. So yeah, just basically to make sure that the money stays within that development. They will have to pay some public art money anyway, so we need to ensure that the money stays there. So, councillors, is there any debate on this item? Councillor Griffiths, thank you.
I don't necessarily want to debate on the item. Yes, I guess I do. Don't want to debate. I'm totally happy with the proposal. I think it's something that's really will breathe a breath of fresh air into Mannington. This area has been these facilities have been sorely lacking, and it has really not worked for the community. Now they have these shopping centres and these facilities. I'm sure it will breathe new life into it. So I'm sure we're very happy. I'm very happy, and I'm sure all the people would be very happy. So to support the recommendation, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Griffiths. Deputy Mayor Hort, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just probably a bit of educating for me. A development of this size, what kind of money would be going into the public art? What kind of contribution would be happening there? And the amount spent here, would that come off of that amount, that contribution?
I will get the Director Terrelink to respond to that question.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The development's worth $4.8 million. The percent for art contribution would be 1%, so the equivalent of $48,000. We've got some experience with murals and other artworks around the city, and that kind of budget would probably deliver 2 very effective pieces of art on either of those walls. Sort of yet to be scoped out, but it's probably all can fit together quite nicely.
Deputy Mayor Hort.
Just to follow up, we wouldn't be imposing an extra cost on the developer then? This would come out of that? Yeah, okay, yes. Thank you. I understand.
There may even be money left over for something else. Is there any further debate on this item? I'll just close on it then, just to agree with what Councillor Griffiths has said. Absolutely thrilled to see this application, and I think the people of Maddington have waited way too long to have something like this happen, and I'm particularly excited because it'll probably be my local shopping centre. So yeah, really looking forward to it happening. So thank you, councillors. I hope you can support my amendment. Thank you. If you could please cast your vote. Thank you, councillors. That has been carried. Now move back to the original item. Councillor Patterson, thank you.
Not to be out-amended, I have an amendment also. So I, Sarah Patterson, propose the following: that the staff recommendation be amended by deleting number 1, the second sentence in condition 9, which reads, "The approved schedule shall be implemented for the duration of the development." Number 2, removing condition 13.2 entirely and condition 13.6 entirely for the following reasons, that these conditions are considered unnecessary.
Can I get a seconder for that? Thank you, Deputy Mayor Hort. Thank you. Councillor Patterson.
Thank you very much. So in condition 9 is that prior to the occupation of development, a colour and material schedule shall be submitted to the satisfaction of Gosnells, and the approved schedule shall be implemented for the duration of the development. I'd like to remove the implemented for the duration of the development, because what that does is force the developer to have to come back if they want to change the colour, change the facade, terracotta comes back in. Condition 13.2 is the 7 square metre store attached to the childcare premises. Given that it's inside the wall that's being established, I think the fact that it abuts out doesn't cause too many challenges, and it's a storeroom likely for the toys of the childcare playground, which is within the walls, so it just makes sense to put a storeroom there. And the third condition, 3.6, is 13.6, my apologies. Sorry, yeah, is the window fronting Westfield Street. Which the reason why I'm asking for that is it doesn't feel necessary to require that. Thank you.
Who's second? Deputy Mayor Hort, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Look, I like where Councillor Patterson is going with this. I just need to explore it a little bit further. So, I agree with the window because, I mean, you could just put a roller shutter on it and then we're not going to have any impetus or any capacity to prevent that from occurring. The storage facility, I've worked at a few community pharmacies in my time and I appreciate there's one that backs onto that area there. Is there still a walkway to access the back of the shopping centres between the childcare, or is it completely locked off now? So it's a parapet wall essentially. I'm assuming that's coming from that thing. Is that right?
I'll get the Director Terrell to respond. There's a footpath out the front.
Yes, Madam Mayor, pedestrians would go back onto the street footpath for that short bit of childcare frontage and then come back onto the shopping centre side.
But there's no walkway between the childcare centre and the building that has the pharmacy in it?
Not directly, no.
Okay, cool.
No.
I want to be clear there because I know a lot of pharmacies will get their medications through the back door and the last thing you want is some narrow, dingy lit alleyway that's going to cause issues for...
No, there wouldn't be.
Very good. So I'm supportive of this. Well done, Councillor Patterson. Look forward to it being approved by Council.
Is there any further debate on the amendment, councillors? Did you want to close, Councillor Patterson? No, thank you. If you could please cast your votes. Thank you, councillors. That has been carried. So we'll now go back to the original item with the two amendments. Is there any further debate or comment on the original items? Any questions? No. Councillors, if you would like to cast your vote on the original item with the two amendments. Thank you. Thank you, councillors. That has been carried. Moving on to item number 13.5.1, the reconciliation of the Developer Contributions Infrastructure Reserve. Can I get a mover for that, please? Councillor Good, seconded by Councillor Patterson. Councillor Good? Councillor Patterson? Anyone else? No? Councillors, if you would like to cast your vote, thank you. Thank you, councillors. That has been carried. Moving on to 13.5.2, the policy review. Can I get a mover? Councillor Adams, seconded by Councillor Betts. Is there any... Councillor Adams? Councillor Betts? Anybody else have any debate or comment? Thank you. If you could please cast your vote. Oops. Thank you, councillors. That has been carried. Moving on to item 13.5.3, the budget variation for the purchase of a replacement loader. Can I get a mover? Councillor Griffiths, seconded by Councillor McDonald. Councillor Griffiths, do you have any? Thank you.
No, I don't. No, I think it's a great idea. We need a loader. We've got all that one. It's really not what we said. Just that it's one of those necessities.
Yes. Thank you, Councillor Griffiths. Any further debate or questions? Councillors, if you could please cast your vote. Thank you, councillors. That has been carried. There are no motions of which previous notice has been given. There is no urgent business. We do have confidential matters. Councillors, I need a mover to close the meeting. Councillor Baines to move that and Councillor Adams to second that. Could you please cast your vote on that? Thank you. Thank you, councillors. That has been carried. The time is 7:28 and I declare the meeting closed for the confidential matter. Ladies and gentlemen, you will be welcome to wait outside until the item's dealt with and the doors will be reopened, or you are welcome to go home.